Okay, what's up, everybody? We're gonna do a little door-to-door con preview, and we have a special guest joining with his dog. Even
We got Track and D. We are in it right now.
let's go. And I saw, is it your birthday today? Is that right, Sam?
On the 8th, but so okay. At Door-to-Door Con is actually my birthday.
Oh, okay.
And I was like surprised last night as D, my wife, wonderfully surprised me. Like, no idea. Huge, just brought all my family and close friends, and
wow,
she's absolutely amazing.
That's awesome, man. She forgot to invite your best friend, me.
I know. Well, you'll be out there next week, bro. You'll see the real party, man. VIP dinner's the real birthday party. So anybody that got a VIP ticket, we're gonna be having a good time there at where the Utah Utes play at the Eccles Center. So we're gonna fall out. It'll be fun.
Man, it keeps getting better and better. That's I'm excited, man. I'm not getting there till late on this 7th, unfortunately. So I think I missed some of the.
No, VIP's on the 8th.
Is that the 8th? Okay.
Yeah. It's gonna be a good time.
Cool. Still make it.
Yeah.
Well, cool, man. We're excited. So yeah, I try to do these every year just to like preview, give people a taste of what's going on. Because I think sometimes guys don't know who's speaking, and like sometimes they don't recognize the names. So like, oh, should I go? Should I not go? I don't recognize a ton of names this year. So I think it's helpful for me just to kind of like preview it and
super true.
Coming up, you know what I mean?
Yeah, because people don't realize like, oh, who's this guy, Shy AIDS, or who's this guy, Andy Holmes, and it's like there's no like famous people I necessarily pick because they're just door-to-door guys, but it's like this guy's won 6 golden doors. Adam Shantz, best door knocker I've ever heard of. Sold 1,000 alarms in a summer and 220 in a week. It's like my best week in alarms was 29. This guy's best week is 220. You know what I mean? So it's like him doing a workshop on the psychology of selling and breaking that down. But it's not like he's an Instagram influencer. He runs a huge company and is probably one of the best knockers. And then you have like these panels where Byron, if you're in pest control, you have this guy that, basically is the OG of door-to-door, not just like any door-to-door. I'm talking like OG. So like he was the founder of Eclipse Marketing that then broke off, Apex, that turned to Vivint, that broke off Atlas, that broke off, Bulwark. But like all these companies have stemmed from the late 80s, early 90s pest control. And guys like him are coming and speaking and sharing wisdom. And anyway, it's pretty cool.
Incredible. Yeah, and something I've learned too is a lot of guys you don't even hear of sometimes. Like sometimes the top producers, they're not even on like social media. They're not like going crazy and everything. And then you don't hear about them until you go to like Door-to-Door Con. So that's how like Michael O'Donnell was. No one had heard of him till he came to Door-to-Door Con.
And that's what people have found. I mean, most of these people, Melissa Romiza, same thing. Yeah. She's speaking. You have, Tyler Bastion, same thing. Like, unless you like worked for the company they worked at, which is not many, you know what I mean? It's like, how do you know who these people are? I have a guy coming this year. He just submitted for a Golden Door. And supposedly he did about 590 solar installs this year. And I'm like, Mihir Pimpel, out of Texas. But it's like, wow, how do you, go do 500 and something solar deals and just go meet the guy? Even though he's not even speaking, it's like, holy cow. Everybody's over here bitching about how their like solar year sucked, and this guy's throwing in a freaking 500 personal sales. You're just like, really? Okay, it must suck. What's he doing? It's so sucky, isn't it? He does 5 times more than your company combined.
Yeah, that's incredible. Well, I want to go through a couple, maybe some like highlights of the day. I got the agenda pulled up here, so maybe we can kind of go through some of the highlights. But before we do that, like, how do you get recommended a lot of these speakers, the workshops, or how do you go about like discovering these people and finding people that maybe aren't like as well known that have done tons of volume? Is it like kind of word of mouth, or
it's just through like network? I think a lot of times it's fleshing out, who's actually promoting, who's somebody that has good sales tactics, and I'm not perfect. Like I always try to vet like who's gonna align with the mission to up level. And I'll bring honor to the space. And it's not always the case that I hit, there's been times in the past where I'm like, sorry, I didn't realize that guy was, XYZ. And we do our best to, ask around to the owners of companies, hey, who's your top guy? Who is somebody that you would want to highlight that deserves it? And we start to find people that way. And then just built relationships with a lot of these people. A lot of them are in my mastermind. A lot of them I've coached. And so it's just been fun to be able to put them on a platform. Like Jackson Jr., he's like one of the VPs at Grip Marketing. He had like 70,000 pest control accounts under him and like 20-something golden doors. And it's like, I went and hiked Everest with him. We did this Everesting thing together. And so I was really able to get to know him. Wow. And, I'm like, dude, you just come speak at D2D Con. Holy cow, you've recruited hundreds and hundreds of people. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, it's cool because I've definitely, running this podcast for a while. Same thing. I've had some guys come on where, I find out later that they weren't doing the numbers that I thought they were doing. And, sometimes it's tough to like vet people and gauge quality and all that. So you got a tough job doing it for a whole conference because I've only done it for podcasts. But
I just got a new speaker today, actually. That's kind of a big name. She came really at a discount. Kamala Harris is coming.
I saw that.
I'm just kidding. I was like, how funny would that be? It's like, hey, you were like the hottest speaker for a while, and now nobody really cares.
Anyone that voted for her gets a free ticket.
Yes. So funny.
I wish.
I'm not trying to make it political. I just thought it was a funny joke.
Yeah, that was good. Well, cool. I'm gonna pull up the agenda and I'm gonna give some of like my thoughts. Then maybe you can chip in. And obviously, like we're Solarpreneur podcast, so I'm focused more on the solar people. But maybe you have some because I'm not as connected as like in pest control and some of these other industries now. So maybe you could talk about some of the ones that solar guys wouldn't know about as much.
Yeah, 100%.
Let's see if this works. I'm gonna see if it'll let me share the agenda here. So July the 7th, you got the soccer. Are you not doing a basketball this year?
Yeah, b-ball and soccer.
Oh, b-ball and soccer. Okay.
Yeah, we've got like I think 12 teams registered, so we've got 6 more spots max, I believe, on basketball, and then we have a few more spots on soccer. So if anybody wants to like hop in and come early and put a 3-on-3 team together, like honestly, one of my favorite parts of D2D Con is just watch a bunch of meatheads just get dirty with each other that like used to ball. You know what I mean? It's like me, I still got a little in me, so I'm like, oh, I'll get competitive, but it's fun. Like just come and like get your wiggles out. So love it.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, but if you named it like church ball, I'd probably go. But
I was like, it's more like church ball. It's not that like intense. But Owners Day is epic. This is a new thing that we're doing that we've never done before. It's free. So even if you don't have a ticket to D2D Con and you're a business owner and you're like running a solar deal and maybe you're too broke to spend the $400 or $500 it costs to get a ticket, I don't know. Come to this one. You have to be a business owner. They're checking badges at the door, but it's a really unique mastermind we're inviting everybody into that we just said, hey, for 3 hours, can we just like collaborate as business owners? And so we'll have specific content in a workshop essentially where people interact as business owners. So that's kind of free. It's fun. Anybody can go. And then the league is a private dinner for our mastermind members, and Taylor, you're invited. You know what I mean? Like you're in that, and a lot of the people that we've built community around, we're doing like our own little private dinner, which is kind of fun.
Yeah, that's awesome. How'd you come up with the Owners Day idea? Is that just
I just felt like, sometimes like people are like, oh, D2D Con, it's like all salespeople. I'm like, no, actually every year it's 50% business owners. And I was like, how do we collaborate with them? And there's a few initiatives that we're working on that's going to take their buy-in, because I think some of especially the solar initiatives that we've been pushing to help build these certifications and push some legislation and just some of the stuff on the back end that we're doing has a need for people to step up and like collaborate on, instead of be just like a bump on a log or, have their head in the sand. It's like, guys, this affects everybody, how we move the industry forward. So.
Right. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, it'll be fun to check out. Okay, so moving on the next day, and this is where you get into the meat of Door-to-Door
Yes.
Con. So yeah, we got a bunch of speakers, then workshops. We'll go through some highlights of that. But looks like Golden Door Awards. So are you doing that? Because I remember before, it seems like you did all the awards like the last day. If I remember right, kind of towards the end. So are you doing them different times now, or what's this
Yeah,
about?
kind of starting at the front end and then finishing on the back end with pest control. So solar and miscellaneous, which would include like windows, fiber, water filtration, real estate. I mean, telecommunication. We have awards meet like so many different industries, but solar obviously is one of the primary ones. We'll give away at 10, so kicking it off, and then Hall of Fame, which we have in the solar space this year.
Yeah.
Who do we have getting it? Edwin Arajave, Brent Stevens out of Canada, and J.K. Gleave and Scott Pest Control. So Edwin did solar and alarms. So does Brent Stevens out of Canada. They do solar and alarm. So kind of pretty cool multi-service companies.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, and probably a good idea because I remember, I think it was last year, I had a couple buddies that were getting the golden doors for solar, and a few of them just showed up like an hour before they were going to get their award on the second day. I'm like, guys, you're supposed to show up the whole thing, not just...
Yeah, you missed it. Like, I think that like people don't realize like the value of the event. You know, some
Yeah.
people are like, "Oh, I'm just showing up and get my award." I'm like,
Yeah.
do you not realize like the amount of speakers and networking and connections and vendors, and we have 100 vendors and
Holy
so
cow.
many cool people to go connect with.
Yeah.
Missing the point.
Yeah, so if you're listening, definitely show up early. Yeah, even if you're just on the vendors for the whole time, it's like there's insane value. People go, I've gone, I think this is like my, I don't know, sixth or seventh door-to-door
Yeah,
con.
I was gonna say like most of them.
Yeah, I still got the OG door-to-door.
Yeah,
cord
dude, we need to
promotion.
frame one of those. I don't have one of those. I'm jealous.
Yeah, I'll be bringing it, showing that thing off.
Oh,
But yeah, like there's so much value, even if you're just going for the networking. Because some of these people on the workshops, I've seen them speak, 3-4 times now. But even there's still nuggets you're gonna pick up, and then just the networking alone, that's where it's just extremely powerful, because you never know, one conversation. If you're in solar, maybe your company is going out of business, whatever. We've seen a lot of crazy stuff happen in solar, so I think it's the guys that are coming to these things, building friendships, building networks. It's going to be extremely powerful when with whatever happens in solar or whatever industry you're in. Cool. So we got workshops. So yeah, a couple main speakers, and I was just looking at these speakers. Looks like they're mostly like music people. Are you trying to get the band back together, Sam, or what's with all these musicians coming?
It's interesting. So we do have two musicians, Mike Posner and Harry Mack, both of which were intentional. Mike Posner hiked Mount Everest. He's walked across America. He's written many really interesting like philosophy stuff, but also musicians. So he's actually created a TED Talk, if you go look it up, where it's very like personal development. If you follow him on Instagram, plus music, which is kind of a cool, entertaining speech. Then you take like Erwin McManus, who has been a preacher and a leadership guy, written many, many, many books, very famous author. Insane. He has been one of my favorite speakers by far, and he's been over to 100 countries speaking. And it's like, if you go look up or read his books, like super spiritual, super leadership driven. He just launched one on communication called the 7 Frequencies of Communication, where it's got its own communication assessment. So really cool. He's one of the most interesting people that I would highly check out. And then day 2, Harry Mack. You think of freestyling, and I look at improv, freestyle, such correlations to door approaching and pitching and sales because of the necessity to be adaptable and quick-witted. And so he's actually weaving in a keynote with a rap, with his philosophies and how he creates relatable content and connection with people, which is really all you're doing in sales. And it's pretty dope. I'm like stoked on how we hand selected unique speakers. It's not the typical Ed Milet and Eric Thomas that we've all seen. It's the unique ones that you're never going to get to see. That is so fun about this event.
Yeah, no, for sure. I was actually kind of surprised. I'm like, Mike Posner, is he performing or speaking? And so I was curious to know. That's part of why I wanted you on this live stream, because I didn't really know how you're going to twist it or how they're going to tie sales into what they're talking about or motivation. But no, that's cool, and I'm excited. Yeah, especially that's cool how you're talking about the improv stuff. I don't know if you've done like improv comedy classes. I know some people recommend that, but it's similar stuff. It's all like thinking on your feet, and yeah,
so similar.
It's gonna be dope. That's cool. Okay, and then moving on. So I'll give some of my highlights for the workshops, and then you can chime in if I missed anything, Sam. But from me looking at it, the ones I'm most excited for, specifically for solar, obviously is Melissa Romiza. She's definitely one of the best in solar right now, and I was surprised this time because I've known Melissa for quite a while actually, and a couple years back I remember she was like totally against blitzes. She's like, oh, I don't do blitzes, I just stay in my markets and that's how I do it. But this time around at Door-to-Door Con, she's speaking how to run the perfect blitz. So I'm curious to see how she's gonna what changed her mind on that. So I'm definitely gonna be hitting that one, Melissa Romiza. And then let's see, for the 3 p.m. Got the solar cells panel. So
that one's solid. I mean, Danny Pesci, always a good time. Johnny Graham, Real Sales Dynamics, Nick Nascimento, Lead Sales. You got, Austin Elkins. He's the owner of Kin Home. Okay. Just a badass. Danielle Blakely. I love the female speakers. She's with Solar Pros, crushing it. Nice. Tanner Huber. So just some awesome solar guys that are hitting golden doors, have been trainers in this space for a long time. Yeah. Really cool.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good one. I've had, I know the only two I don't know are Austin and Danielle, but yeah, these definitely some heavy hitters on there.
Yeah, Austin also came up with us and did the Everesting thing, and just really got to know him there.
Oh, cool.
And runs a couple hundred sales guys.
Wow.
Large sales organization for solar.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, that'll be fire. And then the 4 p.m. This is one where I actually don't think I didn't really have a
so I think the way that
for this one, but
this is like how I would look at it is like you look at the title of the room, so it's like you have miscellaneous, which I think Eric Chandler would be a super good one to go to. For example, if I'm solar, just teaching how to master referrals and create like exceptional customer relationships, which a lot of the solar reps fail to do. Or it's like, hey, I want to grow my sales. So there's sales rooms, there's miscellaneous, then there's leadership, where Ty Bastian's the owner of Vital, where he's got one of the largest solar dealers in the country. And so it's kind of like, okay, how do I learn from a guy like Ty, who's been a top sales performer in solar? I mean, I actually started in solar with him back in 2015, in the fall. Me and him left Vivint at the same time. We were the number 1 and number 2 rep at Vivint, and we just started at New Power together back when you were there. So Tyler came up and was like doing it with me in Utah. Okay. And he's been doing it ever since. And, so just like a guy like that just has that much history in it, that'd be a good one. Marshall Hawks, he just set the pest control world record of like killing it, so it's like ever sold in pest control in a season, just did the most, and he's teaching you how to go sell and create a formula to win on the doors. So just because they're not from solar doesn't mean you can't go to their thing, because it's like he's teaching you door pitch stuff and basically hit the all-time high ever in history. So it's like maybe he's got something. I don't know. You know what I mean? So, and then this TPO versus leasing. This guy's from Goodleap. So on leadership, Christopher Kennedy, it's like, how do you find the benefits between TPO and leasing and owning? That's like super specific, especially right now in the solar space, because it's a representative from Goodleap, the largest financer of solar in today's world.
Yeah. Yeah.
So good. Like, you know what I mean? So it's just understanding And you could go to the speaker specifically tab and kind of research this prior to when you go. And then we'll have an app that'll show everything as well.
Nice.
I do have to dip in 3 minutes though, because I got to get to the airport. I'm actually flying on a red eye tonight to DC
Oh,
to
okay.
meet with the company. And
Okay.
I got to get to the airport.
Okay. Well, hey, thanks for taking the time. And yeah, maybe I'll stay on for a few minutes after, just give some last highlights. But if you had to make one final, I guess, invitation for people, or one final reason, maybe something that's different about this year, or something that you're most looking forward to before you go, what would that be, Sam, before you got to dip here?
I think just like what we're pushing this year, we brought back the sales blacklist. We brought back we've created 8 months of filming and creating and collaborating with like the Solar Association and some of these bigger moves and initiatives. We've been trying to really create a thesis of how do we strengthen the solar industry, and hence why we've handcrafted people like Good Leap and and such to come as not only vendors but like educate people. And day two, phenomenal pack speaker lineups as well. And I think the uniqueness of the network and people that we get to introduce you to that you would have never been able to just like, you wouldn't even know they exist. You get to say, wow, that's a guy that did 500 solar deals in a year, or wow, that's a person that goes and they actually sell this product. I didn't even know you could sell it this way, and this is the latest and greatest technology that people are using for AI. We have like an AI panel this year because it's so relevant. But it's just like having so much ability to ask questions and rub shoulders and come as a team, learn as a team, leave as a tribe, like not have this recruiting fear because we duct tape your shirt if you wear logos and kick people out. Like it's just this element of like, can we drop our punching gloves for a minute and like help this space? And that's what I hope people capture. And to me, if you're in solar and you're not there, you're crazy. Like I'm over here, like you're taking this job professionally. You know that it's been in the rocks for the last year or so, in the sense of it's taken some shots fired, banks, net metering, finance interest rates, all these things. And I'm like, and you're not there. I'm asking yourself, like, am I just like not part of am I just not part of the community? Am I not in the know? Like, do I just want to live under the rock? Like that to me blows my mind, how people still are kind of like, oh, I don't need to go to that, or I shouldn't go. Why would I go? I'm like, I don't know, because this is your job. This is like the one industry conference that would make you better at your job so you could bring home bacon to your family and you can perform at the highest level and scale your company. Like,
yeah. Well, it's funny because my dad's a dentist and he's like required to go to these continuing education courses and like seminars, conferences and stuff like that. So sometimes I'm like, man, we can do the same thing, and we're expecting to make doctor money, but we're not willing to do the stuff doctors are doing and like continue our education.
It's crazy.
So, just kind of
so
funny.
Crazy. No, and Taylor, I appreciate you guys. And hey, go use this code Armstrong20, get 20% off. You're saving like $100. Like, you know what I mean? So and then if you get bulk orders, like let's say you get 5 or 10, the ticket prices even go down. So right now is the time. I mean, guys, it's next week. We're talking in like less than a week from now. We're in Utah kicking off. And, I think if you're on the fence right now, like that's probably the reason why you need to go is you just play like a fence sitter. Like make a decision, take action, book your stinking flight. Like I promise the return on this is stupid.
Yeah.
I've seen it every year.
100%. Well, yeah, I mean, and obviously you got belief in it. You're getting on this live like 10 minutes before you got to go to a flight. So I mean, the guy has belief. He knows it's going to change the course of your career. And I've definitely gotten a ton of value coming to these over and over and over. And I wouldn't keep coming if I didn't get a ton of value. So we appreciate you putting them on, Sam. And just looking forward to it. It's going to be a good time. So
appreciate guys like you. You guys are the ones that make it happen. So thank you. Appreciate you guys coming on.
For sure, man. Well, we'll let you get your flight, but anyone staying on, I'll go over a few more highlights. But Sam, we'll see you next Tuesday coming up here. Thanks, my friend. All right. See you. Cool. And so if you're still on, just a few other highlights that I'll mention before we dip here. And sorry, I'm looking down because I got the computer screen in front of me. So we got January 9th, the last day. So my personal highlights, 9:30. A lot of times guys don't want to get up for these things. I mean, it's not that early, come on. But you got Danny Pesci again. This guy's always entertaining, former comedian, so I'll probably be checking out Danny Pesci. Always love hanging out with him. And then 10:30, Doug Cartwright, a big fan. He's big on the mental game, which I think is like 80% of this business is just mastering the mental game. So I've seen him speak a few times. He has his coaching company. I forget what his company's called, but an OG, one of the Vivint guys, and get a ton of value from him. And if you're a lady coming, or a guy, these ladies are dropping extreme knowledge too. I'm always a big fan of listening to Sully. Got Sam's wife D going on, and haven't heard his. I don't know if I've heard of these other ones, but it's gonna be a lot of value. Always good learning from them. And man, this is a tough one. Should have looked at this before because there's a ton of good ones going on at 10:30. But I just was doing some jiu-jitsu last week with Alan Bowen. They're in Utah during the holidays. Shout out to Alan. And I think he's the one kind of hosting this solar CEO panel. So I think this is going to be really interesting. Alan was previewing some of the questions he's thinking of asking. And so we'll see if he actually asks this, but we're sitting in the sauna together. I said, Alan, what are you going to ask these guys when they go up there? And a question that he told me he's going to ask them is just how these people expect to stay in business and service their customers long term. Because some of them do, aggressive like warranties and all that. So his thing is like, hey, how do you factor that in a red line, the future services, the warranty you're going to do, and how do you not go out of business? So I thought that was an interesting question, because sales reps, I don't really think about this stuff, but thinking like a CEO, it's a different way of thinking. How do you account for future services? Do you add it in the red? Do you do it as an adder if you're extending warranties or stuff like that? So good question there. And then 11:30, some good stuff going on. All these are going to be good. Nothing that's like jumping off the page there. All these are good, so I hate to say that, don't go to any of them, but but I don't recognize these people as much. And then of course he's saving a bunch of the main speakers for last, so make sure you stay till the end. I've made the mistake of booking my tickets, booking my flight like 30 minutes into last speaker. So this year I booked my ticket for the next day, so I'll be staying clear till the end. Come hang out with your boy. So hope to see everybody there. Those are my highlights for Door-to-Door Con. Grab your ticket, use the code Armstrong20 if you want to get yourself 20% off. Come say hi. Maybe we'll organize a little lunch, little meetup, little get together. And thanks for hopping on this live. If you listen live, or if you're listening on the podcast, thanks for tuning in the podcast. And we'll see you guys hopefully at Door-to-Door Con and in future episodes here. All right.